Our lesson today is about how to deal with that slow, spinny topspin. I'm Alois Rosero from Ping Skills, and with Jeff Plum, we're going to show you how. We're going to cover 3 techniques. The first one is to use soft hands and block the ball. Our second technique is to punch the ball. And our third technique is to counter topspin the ball. The slow spinny topspin often comes after you give your opponent a push or a chop and force them to really lift that ball with a lot of topspin. So to get the ball back down on the table, we need to counteract that topspin. The topspin is going to make the ball fly up high in the air. We need to just turn the bat over and keep your hand and wrist nice and soft. So my bat's just angled over the ball so that it's directing the ball down onto the table rather than up into the air. The softness in your hand acts like a cushion. If your hand is really hard, all the spin is going to be absorbed into the rubber and fly out. So the softness just cushions the spin a little bit and makes the return a little bit softer. When the ball is shorter on the table, you need to make sure that you get a little bit closer to the net so that you're getting to the bounce of the ball. Otherwise, the ball is coming up here and becomes very awkward. The principle on the forehand is very similar to the backhand. So keeping your hand nice and soft and counteracting the amount of spin by turning your bat over the ball slightly. Remember, if you're moving in for the short ball on both the backhand and the forehand, for left-handers, we move our left foot in. For a right-hander, you move your right foot in, for both backhand and forehand. If the ball is coming at a reasonable depth, you just need to be nice and stable with your legs. Our second option is to punch the ball. With the punch, you're generating a little bit more speed. To make the punch, you need to start with your bat up quite high, because from here you're going to come through in a straight line. With the punch, your contact is very flat. You don't want to brush the ball at all because that just slows down the contact. So we start up high, we come through nice and flat, and we want to keep the ball on the bat a very short amount of time. So it's just a real fast contact on the ball. We want to also try and contact the ball at a high point. From a high point, we have a direct line onto the table. If you contact the ball low, it's very difficult to get that direct line without going into the net. So from up here, we have a direct line to punch the ball straight down onto the table. The principles of the forehand punch are very similar. Start with your bat up high and punch straight through the ball. Our third option in dealing with that slow spinny loop is to counter topspin the ball. To counter topspin the ball, our starting position is up at a similar height to our block and our punch. Now though, we're going to contact the ball with topspin by brushing over the top of the ball. So our angle needs to be turned forward. So we're spinning over the ball. And the same with the forehand, spinning over the ball. Because our opponent has already given us a lot of topspin, we don't need to lift our stroke at all. Off a block or a backspin ball, we might need to lift our stroke to lift the ball over the net. When our opponent has already put that topspin on for us, we just need to come straight forward. So now we have three options: soft block, punch and counter topspin. The counter topspin is the most difficult for you to make because you're coming through with a fine angle on your bat. So the contact becomes quite difficult. The other two, the soft block and the punch, are fairly similar in difficulty level.
So out of your three options, the soft block, the punch and the counter spin, you need to decide firstly what's comfortable for you, and secondly what's going to be difficult for me as your opponent. If I'm top spinning the ball and my opponent blocks it softly, it might be difficult for me because I've got to move forward to get to that ball. Similarly, if I'm top spinning from quite close to the table and they punch the ball, it might be too fast for me and I might not be able to get to it. And the third option, if I top spin and they counter spin it, well, that's going to be difficult for anyone because the ball's going to come fast and the top spin's going to kick up and it's going to make it really tough.